Episode 55, 5-1 and Cinematically Correct collaboration, Thor Ragnarok review.
All right, well, welcome back to Cinematically Correct. I'm Tyler.
I'm Shay.
And then today we have several guests, so I'll let them take over and introduce themselves in their podcast.
Great. Thanks a lot. I'm Chris, and I'm one of the three hosts for the podcast 5-1, and I'm joined by my two sons,
Cade Moore and Jet Moore.
They are 11 and 13, and we are happy to be here with you guys today.
Happy to have you.
I would have to say that your podcast is one of two podcasts that I've listened to.
Oh, wow. It's exclusive company.
I'm not a podcast person, really, so I listened to two podcasts, and then we started doing the podcast just because, and yours happened to be one of them, and I loved it. It was delightful.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So this week we're doing the movie Thor Ragnarok, which I thoroughly enjoyed because I'm a grown man that is really a 13-year-old boy trapped in a grown man's body. So,
well, before we get into the movie, since last week we said you did not like Thor 2, this was better than Thor 2, correct?
This was by far way better. It's the best Thor movie so far.
I agree.
Really? I'm so surprised. Does everyone agree with that?
Yes.
I thought it was definitely better than Thor 2,
Yeah.
and probably on par with the first one. I enjoyed the first one as well.
I didn't really like Thor 2.
Well, Thor 2, I think we can all agree, was terrible because it was a travesty of a movie, in my opinion.
It was pretty bad. But I don't know if I thought this was the best one. The humor I liked the humor, but it kind of threw me a little bit. It almost felt too Deadpool-y to me.
Well, it was definitely the funniest version of Thor that we've seen.
Right.
And I thought there was a good fair bit of nostalgia as well, with a lot of the 80s music and the synth playing in the background and a lot of the scenes.
The soundtrack.
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't sing the soundtrack when we started.
All right, that's Led Zeppelin, and I'm not going to subject our listeners to that.
I could do for some Zeppelin right now. I say go for it.
Yeah.
It's not happening. There's no way.
The humor.
Didn't you guys recently do a podcast with what people like from the 80s?
Well, yes, sort of. It was a listener choice feedback question, but the podcast we just recorded it is actually about Ready Player One, which is heavily 80s centric. So we thought it would be a good segment for the show.
Oh, gotcha.
I think technically Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song is the 70s, but
yeah, close.
That's not here nor there.
The humor kind of reminded me of Guardians a little bit. It felt a little bit like Chris Pratt at times.
I liked Guardians of the Galaxy humor a lot better, though.
I felt this one was too forced.
Okay.
I have to agree with all that.
There was a little bit of it. I mean, in the opening scene, especially where they're just...
When he kept trying to go around and he's like, I'll be right back. I'm coming right around. That, to me, that was like, okay, that's not really that funny. But I'm also really picky when it comes to comic book movies.
I think it was hit or miss. There were some parts where it worked well and others where it did feel a little bit forced, but I feel like a lot of the Marvel movies have kind of gone that direction, maybe because of the success of Deadpool, but yet Ant-Man and Guardians and now this one and the Spider-Man movie, there's a lot of humor in all of those.
Yeah, I would have to say I agree.
I would say that they had a fantastic cast for the most part. I mean, across the board, everyone was a huge name actor, even including throwaway parts where we have Matt Damon as Loki for 5 seconds of time.
That was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Well, it was great. It was fantastic. But then you have Anthony Hopkins, Cate Blanchett, Carl Urban. It's just so many big name people.
I had no idea Cate Blanchett was even in this movie until I saw her character. And I thought, wait a minute, is that Cate Blanchett? I was really surprised. And I read I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I read online about Anthony Hopkins that he had actually turned down the role of Odin for this movie, but then read a script and changed his mind.
I wonder why he turned it down.
I think he was just ready to move on from it.
And so that's why he just died.
Yeah, maybe because his character died. That's a good point.
Well, it turned him reading the script where he dies into being in the movie, so...
Didn't you read something about why Cate Blanchett was in the movie?
Cate Blanchett was in the movie because her kids are huge comic book fans, and they said, "Oh, yeah, it'll be great for your career."
That's absolutely adorable. I honestly didn't even notice it was Cate Blanchett until I saw the IMDb. So I don't know what that says about me, but I had no idea it was her.
I knew it was her right away. I don't know. It was obviously Cate Blanchett the second she was on screen.
Nothing. She only had to do 20-minute workouts for this movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. She only worked out for 20 minutes a day.
That seems awfully...
That seems awesome.
That
I
seems-
hope at her age I can do that.
Yeah, that's hella impressive.
Yeah. Okay.
The delay on that was spectacular.
Hashtag
Hella.
dad joke.
Hell is actually where we get that word, hell. Interesting enough.
Huh.
So it comes from the ancient Old Norse for Hela, and that's where that word comes from.
That's interesting. Where did you read that? Because that's random.
I just read it on a wiki somewhere.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay.
Pick up the weirdest things on the internet.
One character you have not talked about like at all is Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, because I felt like his character was so different in this movie than the other times that Hulk appeared in the movies.
Are we talking about the Hulk or Bruce Banner?
The Hulk. I thought, well, first of all, I thought he looked different. I know you say he didn't.
His
but
beard. He had more of a beard, I felt
Yeah,
like.
he had like a beard kind of small
See?
stubble.
Well, maybe he did look a little bit different. He'd been the Hulk for 2 years,
Well,
so
I just got support, so he looked very different.
he definitely
but
sounded different because it was no longer Lou Ferrigno.
True.
I didn't even know there was a different voice from the Hulk until now.
Yeah, this is
Lou
the first
Ferrigno-
time it's been voiced by Mark Ruffalo. It had been Lou Ferrigno in all of the previous incarnations of the character. And he had a lot more dialogue, I felt like, than normal Hulk that we see in the movies.
Yeah, like he was missing some of the words in the sentences, but he did talk a lot more. It was weird to see him in his like normal daily life, because usually we just see him smashing things.
True.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that when he was smashing things, he was actually smashing a mannequin child doll?
Really?
Instead of,
Really?
Yeah.
That seems really horrifying.
It was so that because of the size difference, so they needed to make the Hulk look so big, and Mark Ruffalo is not a big guy, so they used like a mannequin child doll so that he could smash it around.
That was supposed to be Thor, apparently.
Well, yeah, they even dressed it up as Thor to give him some, inspiration.
Oh, well.
So no children were harmed in the process of this movie, but
I will say that Thor went too far when he was criticizing the Hulk and saying that you're the dumbest Avenger and saying all those horrible things because Hulk is awesome.
It was pretty
Absolutely.
mean.
Yeah. But Hulk was being kind of a jerk, you have to admit
Yeah.
it.
Well, Hulk is the Hulk. He destroys things. That's what he does.
Yeah, but when I think of the Hulk, I think of him and Thor and all the other Avengers, buds.
As a team.
Yeah.
you have friends from work.
Friends from work. That was actually an interesting story that you had found about the Friends from Work line.
Oh yeah, that line actually came from a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid who came to set, and he recommended it to Chris Hemsworth, and they decided to use it.
That is cool. That's a cool story. And I liked, I don't know, I felt like we said the humor was forced in parts, but I really did find myself laughing at some of the Thor and Hulk interaction.
Yeah.
Well, what was one of your favorites?
Wait, let me think.
Don't think too hard. I like the, this wasn't with Hulk, but the rock, paper, scissors joke.
Oh, yeah.
I laughed
Oh,
at that
yeah.
one.
I like that
was
one too.
great.
That was Karl, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Korg,
Korg.
the director of the movie, was the voice of that rock dude.
Korg, was it?
Korg, yeah.
Or
Korg.
yeah, he was one of my favorite characters.
He had a lot
I
of-
like Meek. Meek was my favorite character, and I got really sad when he almost died.
Like Slug Alien.
Oh, the little purple dude.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he was adorable. But he came back to life at the end, didn't he?
he did.
Yes.
It was hilarious. He was just like carrying to spit out gum.
That's too cute.
Krog
So
almost
I
killed
heard-
him. Well, sorry,
I heard
you can
that
go.
the. So I heard that the internet was so excited about Korg that they're going to have to put him into all of the other movies coming up because he was so popular.
Does anyone know who Korg, like where he came from in the actual comic book universe?
No.
No idea.
Because somewhere I read that he actually started off as a Hulk, like in the Hulk universe, like in his comic books, and they just brought him into here. But I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, there's a race of aliens. I don't remember what they're called, but they're made out of rocks from the Marvel universe.
And that's him, I would
and
assume.
that's where he's from. Yeah, I don't know the deeper background on that, but
well, you should.
I think didn't in the movie Thor he asked him like, "Are you from?" or he knew his like species name or the planet he was from.
Yeah,
he was asking about it.
You're right.
But I can't remember what the name was.
I can't either.
What did you guys think about Thor's fighting style without the hammer?
Well, he fought for 5 minutes without the hammer, and then he was all electricity, which was awesome. in the finale. But I mean, when he was fighting the Hulk, he had Hulk's hammer somehow.
True. I was surprised at how strong he was without the hammer. I thought the hammer was what brought him strength.
Yeah, I thought all of his power came from the hammer.
I did too. I was surprised that he seemed ultra strong even though he didn't have the hammer.
Well, he's still an Asgardian. They're strong. Just from that...
Stronger than all other species? Because that's what it seemed like.
Basically, yeah.
He couldn't focus his power, because, like, didn't they say that his hammer was supposed to focus his power? Not, that was his power?
It wasn't the source of his power. It helped him focus. Yeah, Odin had that line.
If we learn nothing from the movie other than that from Anthony Hopkins, that was the one line. So it's not his hammer is the power, he's the power, and the hammer is a tool.
Wait, so is the hammer coming back?
No, that thing's gone.
It's done? Oh, well, so then how are they going to continue it's just going to be lightning from now on?
I would imagine, probably.
Maybe that spear thing he fought with at first against Hela.
Oh, that's true. That's fair. Didn't you ask if he has all that lightning power, how that thing in his neck affected him?
Yeah, that really bothered me. It made no sense.
I was wondering the same thing, because I thought when he was about to have the final, I guess, beat down on Hulk, and you saw that they were about to activate that thing in his neck, I thought, well, okay, he's just going to power right through it because he's like made out of electricity at this point. Why would it affect him? But it still knocked him out.
It's like you can't kill Scorpion with fire. You can't, like, drown Aquaman.
Right.
So, I don't understand.
Yeah, it made no sense, and it was just a glaring plot hole.
No, I saw an interview with Chris Hemsworth, and he was saying that they did that because they had already done the whole background story of Thor, and they'd already kind of built him up. So in order to bring him back down to, like, Earth, like to humanity, they had to do something to level him out. So they introduced that to make him seem more human, and also putting him on a planet where he wasn't the god of anything, really. But it just seems like they could have done something else, like maybe light him on fire or something. I don't know, do something.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if lighting someone on fire is advisable. That seems a little bit
Oh, okay. Well, it was the
crazy.
first thing that came to mind. I'm sorry.
Well, and we talked about how the hammer's not coming back, but they did reveal that what it was made out of. It was from the heart of a dying star, I think is what they said in the movie. So
maybe he'll make another one.
Maybe he can forge another one. I don't know.
Or maybe he can get that weird special metal that comes from Earth in a Marvel, like the vibranium or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Captain America's
Shield. Yeah.
Oh. I wasn't following until you said that, so.
Yeah. So it's...
Going into this movie, I thought Hulk was the strongest Avenger, but from what I've seen, I think Thor is probably the strongest Avenger now.
I think I might have to agree on that one, honestly. I mean, the Avengers are all very strong in their own ways in terms of, I think in the comic books at least, they have matchups where Captain America fights Hulk, Captain America fights Thor. They all go through kind of a weird cycling of who is on top at any given time. And I think right now it is definitely Thor.
Yeah. I think you're right there.
Now, I had not seen Doctor Strange, but we did see Doctor Strange in this movie, and I didn't know what his powers were, but he seemed to be pretty impressive with what he could do also.
Yeah. Was he, like, teleporting? Or
I don't know.
I couldn't figure out.
Well, Doctor Strange has magic, and magic is this weird kind of thing in the Marvel Universe where it lines up where almost no one has immunity to it, and so he can basically do mostly what he wants at all times.
It's true. Wait, so you've never seen Doctor Strange?
No, we haven't.
Nope.
Have you seen Benedict Cumberbatch in Sherlock?
Yes, I love that show.
Okay, so his character in Doctor Strange is actually really similar to Sherlock, and I really, really thought in this movie that they were making a call to that character in Sherlock when they said that he lived at
Beaker Street, yeah.
Yeah,
177A Bleecker Street.
Right, because in Sherlock it's 221 Baker Street.
Right.
But they said that it's not a callback, it's just the actual address of where one of the characters actually lives. Well, Doctor Strange's character actually lives in the comic books. Like that. Yeah.
Because when they mentioned his address in the movie, I thought, okay, that's got to be some sort of. It sounded so familiar. I thought it was a reference to Sherlock as well.
Yeah, I absolutely did. But the characters are very similar between the two. He does something with mind. I don't know if it's mind control or what it is, but he's able to like manipulate Doctor Strange.
And he has magic, so he can do spells and all this mystical stuff. And Doctor Strange, the movie was all right. I mean, it was not my favorite, but it was fine. I liked the directors stole the show for me as the rock monster. Honestly,
yes, that he was the best character. But we haven't talked about Cate Blanchett as Hela really at all.
Oh, and Scourge or whatever it is, Carl Urban.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you guys saw Scourge come on the screen, or mostly throughout the movie, what did you guys think of him?
Yeah, we all kind of agreed that he looked really cool, even though he was pretty ineffective as a soldier of Asgard, I guess, until the end of the movie.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was trying to figure out who Scourge was. I was like,
Oh yeah, the guy in blue with the axe.
Yeah,
And the guns.
The one that had the girls. Yeah, Des and Troy, the two guns.
Yeah, he was just meant to be there. I don't know. Like, I didn't really care about him the whole time.
I just thought he was gonna die. That's all I thought. I was like, oh, he's one of these characters that's gonna be like not important for a while, and then he'll have one important scene, and then he'll die.
Well, did you guys think he was a good character or a bad character?
He didn't really matter to me, to be honest.
I thought he was interesting. I enjoyed, I guess, his screen time. But I could, if you're asking if he was a good guy or bad guy, or do you mean good as in like a quality character for the movie?
Well, when I saw him, I immediately thought, well, Carl Urban is obviously the bad guy.
He's always the bad guy, right?
The only other time he's not been the bad guy was when he was in a movie with Cate Blanchett in Lord of the Rings. But every other time, he's always the villain.
See, I never saw him as a villain the whole movie because I just felt like, okay, well, he became her lackey because he decided to save himself and lied and said he was the janitor. And then he, basically the whole movie just kind of like stayed under the radar so that he could eventually help the other team. Like, that's kind of what I viewed him as the whole time.
See, I guess I didn't think in terms of good and bad. I saw him more of as a coward in the beginning for the reasons you said, that he didn't stand up to fight. He just kind of lied and said he was the janitor, and then he knew he was going to die if he challenged her, so he did her bidding. And then at the end, his character arc was that he showed some courage at the end and actually fought back.
And died.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I think he definitely redeemed himself in that regard in terms of being a very cowardly person and then coming back and realizing that he was wrong.
See, I didn't see it as redemption, but we don't agree on redemption, so I guess we'll leave that at that.
I loved the scene where Hulk is introduced and he charges through the gate and just smashes everything to bits. And then it pans to Loki's face, and Loki has flashbacks to the first Avengers movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We all laughed at that part, yeah.
That was my favorite part of the movie.
And then when Thor gets smacked around like Loki did in the end of the movie, it's like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So in talking about the smash scene, I know I'm going to sound really dumb, but who is Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon is
director of Firefly, Serenity, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the old TV show.
Oh, so I watched an interview with Mark Ruffalo, and he said that he apparently did the Hulk smash scene with Josh Whedon as well, and that's the one he was remembering the most. I guess it was the first time he did it, and he had to do it in like a paint room. It was really like fun for him, but that was the first time he remembered ever doing it. I'm like, I've never heard of Joss Whedon. I don't think I know who that man is, but
that actually ought to connect back to which we're always talking about.
And everything, and I never heard of him before this podcast. How does it connect to Nathan Fillion?
Nathan Fillion's in Firefly, directed by Joss Whedon.
You know I don't know what Firefly is, right?
It's a TV show. Oh.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite shows.
Oh, well, I'm the only person on this podcast that doesn't know.
It's like, Jet and Cade. I love the back and forth between Thor and Loki. That's just how me and my brothers are. I don't know if that's any bit similar to you guys.
Loki, I'm always half with him. One part I just love him, and one part I just hate him. You know, he's always just betraying Thor.
I feel like you're more of a Loki and I'm more of a Thor.
Maybe.
Well, if I have to admit it, I'm definitely Loki over Thor.
How? You know.
Wait.
What?
You're not deceptive enough to be Loki, or smart enough, really.
Wow. That's... I don't even know what to say to that.
I'm going to remain out of the discussion on which one of my kids is Loki and Thor. I think you can both be Loki and both be Thor at times.
I'm more of a Loki sometimes. I'm a little sly.
It's definitely a dad answer, though. Both are blame. You both have some share of the blame in every single fight that you have. That's at least how my parents looked at it.
That's absolute truth.
Yeah. So this was actually almost more a Hulk movie because it's an adaptation of the Planet Hulk storyline from the comics, where he goes to a weird world and just fights in the Coliseum for a long time.
Yeah, they actually said that Mark Ruffalo was asking about a standalone Hulk movie to talk about the Planet Hulk thing, and they said, yeah, let's make it 3 movies. We're going to make it Avengers... did they say Avengers? Yeah, Avengers 1, this, and Avengers 3, I think they said.
Well, it's Infinity War, which they set up at the end of this one, which is coming out with Thanos, which will be awesome.
Yeah, I love the tie-in to both Infinity War and Age of Ultron, because when Bruce Banner finally reappeared after being Hulk for 2 years, it was like he just left the Age of Ultron movie, and then at the end when they set up the Infinity War, I thought that was a cool. I mean, I know that they've got a story group that keeps all this tied together, but it's cool for the fan to see that in action in the movies.
Because as soon as he turned back into Bruce Banner, he was asking like, "Oh, did we do it? He's
right?
Like,
did we
accomplish
win?
It?
Did we? Yeah, it's been 2 years, man. Time to move.
Did anybody see the scenes that played after, like in the?
Yes.
You guys did? Because I didn't get to see it, so I was curious as to what they put in that.
They had 2. There was one that was kind of right as the credits started rolling. That was the tie-in to the new Age of Infinity.
Infinity War.
I'm sorry, Infinity.
Age of Infinity.
I mixed up the names there. The Infinity Wars movie. And they had a second one that was back on the planet that Jeff Goldblum was running, Sakaar, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah.
And his ship had crashed on the planet, and he was out there with the scavenger type that were trying to take down Thor in the beginning. And he said something along the lines of, "Hey, guys, I'm glad you started this whole revolution thing. It's been really cool. And I feel like I should take half the credit because without me, the leader in place, you would have nothing to overthrow. So
Yeah.
We'll call it a tie." And then that was kind of the end. They cut scene after that.
Oh, well, I mean, that sounds like it's setting it up for a pretty good Infinity War. So I did want to, I know we're getting a little bit low on time, but so we wanted to start a new segment on the show called Audience Asks, and so I put out a tweet, I think it was yesterday, asking what topics people would like us to talk about from the movie, and 3 topics came up. So the first one's from Dregs of Craigs, and it says, Jeff Goldblum's character as the Grandmaster, do you think he was a great addition to the movie or an annoying character? So I wanted to see what everybody thought on Jeff Goldblum's character as the Grandmaster.
Jet, why don't you go first? What'd you think?
I thought he was he was awesome, to be honest. He was really freaking funny in the movie. And he's kind of that, like, jerk, but that jerk that you all love, you know?
The guy you love to hate?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you?
I feel like he did a good job. Because, like, I really despised him for the first part, and then I was like, you know, he's kind of funny after, so.
I thought he was great. I loved his reaction to everything. Even when, like, he was melting that guy, I think it was his cousin or something. He was melting in the chair, and he said, oh, man, it's getting on my feet. And he's trying to step out of the puddle. I thought he was hilarious. Great addition to the movie.
I thought Jeff Goldblum was playing a character that you're designed to hate, and he does everything that he's in. He's fantastic. So you love to hate him. Is really.
Yeah. See, I don't know if I like Jeff Goldblum as an actor, to be honest. I'm not sure I'm a fan of him. Don't give me the look. Don't give me the look.
You haven't even seen any of his best movies.
I'm giving you the look from Texas right now.
She's never seen Jurassic Park.
What?
He okay.
Wait.
Yeah, that was my reaction.
Did she just say she hasn't seen Jurassic Park?
Uh-huh.
What? That's insane.
Don't worry, we've added it to the list.
Perfect. You guys have a future episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, but I did like him in the movie. He was snide and manipulative, which is my favorite type of character. So his acting, I'm not so sure. Didn't you say that the comic book character, Grandmaster, was supposed to be all blue, but because Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldblum, they just decided to give him that blue goatee and blue fingernails and blue toenails, or did I read that somewhere? Either way, that's the case.
It was. Jeff Goldblum was supposed to be all blue for the Grandmaster from the comic books, but he and the director came to an understanding, and the director, agreed not to put him on all blue because he'd already done an all blue movie, and Jeff Goldblum didn't want to do it again.
Okay. And then the only other question I wanted to give to everybody was somebody asked, the IMDb Journey podcast asked, should we get a Korg standalone film?
No.
Yes.
No.
Jet says no.
Not at all.
And the sidekick should be Meek.
Meek?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely a no. I mean, he's funny, and he's one of those characters in the movies you're like, I like that guy, you know? But he's also one of those characters saying, I can't have a movie. It's not going to be good if it's just Korg. And, like, the story won't be good, and he's just not one of those characters that needs a movie.
So you think he's stronger as a side character as opposed to being
for
the main
comedic relief.
Protagonist? Yeah. I think
I can see it.
I would agree with that.
So I love Korg. I want to see him in more Avenger movies or in more Marvel movies, but I don't need him in my own standalone movie, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say I agree with that. He reminded me a lot of Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy, and like being the big, like, overpowering character, but tiny soul and really sweet undercarriage kind of thing. But I definitely don't think I need to see him in his own movie. I can't picture what his backstory would even be. So
I don't know, but I want to be an extra in this movie and go to that paint throwing party.
you need to do a color run, then you'll get to throw the paint.
I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that was a thing. And I would totally throw paint everywhere.
That was my question. Do you want to throw paint, or do you want to have the paint thrown on you?
Oh, definitely throw paint. It's not even close. Have to throw paint at other people.
Yeah, I mean, if it's throwing it on you, I can arrange that. I'm good with it.
Korg. Wait. Oh yeah, Korg. He seems really nice when you like first meet him, and you're like, oh, he's a nice character. But when you really think about it, he could be subjective. He's just like, oh, Doug's dead. Well, bye, Doug. You know.
Another day, another Doug.
He at least. Oh yeah, that's true. He did say that.
Oh, you did say that.
He did say that, but at the same time, he brought Doug's lifeless body with him because he felt guilty about it.
Oh, that was Neek.
No,
That was
it was
Neek.
Neek.
Doug was the guy that
Doug.
had the last guy who had
lost
to Hulk, basically. Another day, another Doug.
Oh, right. Yes.
The kids just showed you up on movie knowledge.
Yes, that's...
Oh, I could do that any day.
All right.
That sounded like a challenge.
So, I think that about wraps it up.
Ratings.
I'm gonna say I would give it for ratings probably for a superhero movie an 8.
An 8 for a superhero movie, or based on all movies?
Superhero movie. So for all movies, I'm going to downgrade it a little bit because it's a superhero movie. I'm going to say 7.
Okay, I was gonna say 7 too. I liked the movie a lot, but I had a little bit of questions on the forced comedy. But what about you guys?
For a superhero movie, I'd give it like maybe a 7. Yeah, like a 7.
Okay. What about you, Kate?
For superhero movie, I'd say like an 8.5. I feel like I could rewatch that a lot of the times. Just, when I want to.
Yeah, do you have an overall score?
Overall score, I'll give it like a 6.
Overall score is a 6. Like 6 for me is just an average, pretty good movie.
Yeah.
7 is like okay. 8 is like all right, I like this. 9 is like this is awesome. 10 is like my favorite movie.
Okay. I'm kind of in the same boat with all the rest of you. I'd probably around a 7 for a superhero movie and a 6 overall.
Now, because we have you on the show, what are some of your favorite movies? Because we're always looking for new things to watch for the podcast.
You can't hear Jet. Well, for us, we're all big Star Wars fans, so we're always going to suggest Star Wars. But
yeah,
we also, guys, what are some of your other favorite movies? Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, Goonies. Oh yeah, Jet did say we should do Goonies with them sometime.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's probably one of my favorite movies.
All right.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, I think.
All right. Oh, so what are we watching next week?
Next week we're doing Little Shop of Horrors. Since you've never seen it, and you need to see it.
You've never seen a lot of movies that are a travesty that you haven't seen.
Okay, but we're not talking about me, we're talking about you.
Okay, so yes, I've never seen Little Shop of Horrors.
Have any of you guys seen that movie?
Nope.
What movie?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Nope.
It's a musical horror / comedy, and it's not really scary at all, actually.
No.
Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with it, but musicals aren't my thing. So
Same here.
Never
Same
seen
here.
Never seen it.
Really? Wow. I'm shocked. But okay, so I think that's everything for this week.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us for the podcast. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. It was a blast.
Of course, thank you guys.
I'm going to have to continue to listen to your guys' podcast because I've enjoyed the several episodes that I've seen.
Yep, so thank you guys from 5 to 1 podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
5 to 1, so it's guaranteed you can do you.